Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again to our YouTube channel. Today, I'm a disturbed person. I'm disturbed because of the disputes, the bloodshed, the maiming of human beings between two communities, the Kalenjin and the Luo Nation. It is sad that this is happening in the border of Kericho in Kisumu, at a place they are calling Sondu. I've not been to Sondu, but it is very, very painful. The dispute has been there for quite some times. And I remember it is just recently that vita hivi vya kikabila vilikuwa pale, na I don't know why the government has not been able to solve this problem. I don't know why this is happening when the president is visiting the Luo Nation. Sijui kwa nini watu wawane kama kuku au kama majibwa au kama nzi. Kwa nini? Yet we have a constitution. We have laws in our country. And that is why I'm saying these borders, these county borders should be abolished. Because I'm one person who strongly believes that in the future, there will be no country called Kenya. Maybe we should have an East African country, and then an African country, and then one country under the globe, under one president. That is where we are heading to. And wakati ambapo watu wanaanza kupigana kwa sababu ya mipaka, I see people who are completely lost. Kwa sababu when you look at even our languages, our local languages will soon be extinct. Maybe in the next 20, 50 years, hatutakuwa na watu ambao wanaongea lugha ya Kikuyu. Hatutakuwa na watu ambao wanaongea lugha ya Kimasai, Kikalenjin na Kiluo, Kidholuo. So, when you fight on tribalism issues, on the basis of tribalism, this is the worst kind of stupidity that can happen to a third world country. Kwamba watu wanazozana kama wanyama. We know very well that our constitution guarantees very well human rights. The right to life is there. Nobody, and I repeat, nobody should terminate somebody's life. Only God has the power to terminate the life of another person. But when somebody thinks that he can terminate the life of another person, then that is wrong. Then the government is failing us. The cardinal objective of any government is to ensure that there is peace and tranquility, is to ensure that people are living in harmony, is to ensure that people can respect each other, that the bills of rights are respected. Indeed, even an unborn child has the right to live according to our constitution. Lakini wakati ambapo watu wanajitokeza na kuanza kuzozana, iwe ni kwa sababu ya mipaka, iwe ni kwa sababu ya nini, I think the government is failing here. Kwa sababu we have, yes, conflicts will always come in our lives. There will be always conflict between an individual and another, a community and another, and even a state and another. But there are ways of solving a conflict. For those of you who have studied diplomacy, you agree with me that the courts can be used to settle a dispute. The courts, if you are dissatisfied, you can go to the court. And the courts, though they have their own weaknesses, we can go to court and decide how to go about it. We can also use elders. Wazee wa vijiji wanaweza kutumika. They know what belongs to where. Lakini sasa, even if Kisumu is in Mount Kenya, how does that benefit you? Inakusaidia nini? Hata tukisema Nyeri iko Nyanza, what does it benefit you? Inasaidia nini? Because kile ambacho tunajua ni kwamba hii mambo ya ugatuzi imeleta mambo mengi sana. Why not use the elders? Why say sijui Sondu is in Kericho, sijui Sondu is in Kisumu? That is not here, neither here nor there. Hilo sio swala kuzungumzia. Watu wakiwana, are they going to solve the problem? Where are our community elders? Again, we can also use diplomacy. Yes, we can use diplomacy. We can negotiate. We can negotiate always. Because change is only a permanent thing. All things will change. But change will remain the constant thing. Kwa wakati watu wanawana, serikali ikitazama, then one has to ask a hard question. A question like, kwa nini serikali inatuma polisi Haiti wakati imeshindwa kabisa kudumisha amani katika taifa la Kenya? Because I believe before you give your neighbor anything to eat, you have eaten. You share what you have in excess. You don't share what you don't have in excess. Even in trade, you can only trade with what you have in excess. But kwa sababu the sending of the policemen is dogged with so many questions, which are hard to explain. Because you see, unajua sisi tunataka misaada, tunataka kufurahisha Amerika, tunataka kufurahisha mataifa mengine ili misaada izidi kuja. Yet our country, our communities are up in arms against each other. Conflicts is not, no conflict is so difficult for people to solve, especially that which involve the communities. Indeed, even if the market is in Kisumu or in Kericho, wherever it is, it's not something to fight for. Because one has the right to live anywhere. One has the right to settle anywhere. If you are Maasai, if you are a Muhidi and you are a Kenyan citizen, you can settle in Nyanza. You can settle anywhere. As long as you are not offending anybody. As long as you are doing it within the law. Lakini sasa kule kupigana kama wanyama is very primitive if you ask me. Animals are the ones that fight kwa sababu ya mambo madogo madogo kama haya. Na hili ni jambo moja ambalo linafanya Afrika ionekane ikiwa imebaki nyuma sana, because they use the fist to settle minor issues. Why carry bows and arrows against your fellow human being? Why? Kwa nini uwe mtu kwa sababu ya mambo ambayo inaweza kuzungumziwa, mambo ambayo mahali ambapo tuna serikali? I think this is a big challenge to William Samoei Ruto's government. It's a big challenge to Kithure Kindiki, who is in charge of internal security. It's also a big challenge to the PS, who actually comes from the Luo community. I think he needs to come up with a solution. Wakati wa kupigana kama wanyama umepitwa na wakati. Wakati wa vita vya kabila unatumiwa, umepitwa na wakati. And people will always have tribal clashes because of being primitive, because of not using their wisdom. Kwamba, it pains me, ladies and gentlemen, to see people butchering each other. Kenyans against Kenyans, a community against any other community. And this idea ya kusema wewe ni Mluo, wewe ni Mkikuyu, wewe ni nani, it doesn't add up. Look at the way it has done to our country. Tribalism and its ugly face. Angalia, if you want to know how far or how much tribalism has affected this country, ask one Raila Amolo Odinga. Raila Amolo Odinga could have become the president of this country many years ago. I think in 2007 when he was elected the president of the Republic of Kenya. Lakini kwa sababu ya ukabila akapokonywa uongozi na wale watu ambao walimpokonya. Kwa sababu hawezi kutawaliwa na Waluo. This is madness if you ask me. Again, every election has always been dogged by tribalism. The voting pattern has always been on tribal lines. Politics has remained regional, local, and is based on tribal issues. Mtu wetu. I want to say here very clearly, and I've always said it many times, that this country has only two tribes, the rich and the poor. Raila Amolo Odinga, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, William Samoei Ruto, Kalonzo Musyoka, all members of parliament speak in one language, the language of money. You, me, Otieno, Wajiko, we who are hustlers, real hustlers, we belong to the other tribe. Wasakatoge, kabila la Wasakatoge, who is from mouth, heart to mouth. That is the truth of the matter. The only thing that we share with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is only the language. In fact, Uhuru and Raila and others, the rich guys, have more in common than in conflict. Mimi na wewe Atieno pale, mimi na wewe Omolo au Amolo pale, unafanya kazi pale ya bodaboda. We have so much in common. The only thing that we don't share is the Luo and Kikuyu language. Otherwise, maisha yetu ni yale yale, from heart to mouth. Don't be cheated by these leaders. Don't die for them. Don't fight for them. Because in the fullness of time, you come to realize that this country belongs to all of us. And nobody has more equal than the others. Kila mtu ana haki ya kuishi mahali ambapo anataka. Kuna haki ya kutangamana. There is also the right to associate with anybody. You can marry to anybody. Any community is free to practice its tradition. Lakini sasa ikifika ni mambo ya kusema tunapigania mipaka. This is something that pains me, ladies and gentlemen. Na viongozi ukiangalia hao ndio ambao wananufaishwa na vita hivi. So I expect the government to move in very fast and stop this kind of nonsense. I expect the government also to put these guys who are funding this vita. Tunatarajia watiwe baroni. Tunataka kuona mkono wa sheria ukifanya kazi. Let us not fight one another, and let's give the government a chance to see whether it's going to solve this problem, because you cannot actually live like animals. This is my take, ladies and gentlemen. A very annoyed person. I hate tribalism, by the way, and I don't know, because when you look at things from a tribal perspective, you become very naive of so many things. You become very myopic. That is what I see the situation in Kenya today. Nafikiri tungekuwa wapi kama wakati tulichukua uhuru wa taifa hili, kama tungesimama kama taifa bila kuangalia tumetoka wapi. Unafikiri tungekuwa wapi? Because a time is coming, I've said a time is coming, when we do not have a country called Kenya, and even the boundaries will be useless. The boundaries that as we know them today will be useless. Kwa sababu angalia watoto wale watoto ambao tunalea, watoto wadogo wetu, ukiangalia tunaona kwamba we are bringing up wazungu. Ni kusema kweli tunalea wazungu ambao ni Waafrika ambao hawezi hata kuzungumza lugha zao za kwanza, because of the way the world is today, when the people are struggling to go to the moon, when other countries are trying to have an artificial moon like China. Wewe unafikiri mambo ya mipaka. That is wrong in my view. And let the government act, and act decisively, and let this not be repeated year in, year out. And the buck stops with William Samoei Ruto, because after all, he has the duty to ensure that the constitution is implemented to the letter, and Kenyans are safe wherever they are. And nobody, doesn't mean wherever you come from. So the issue of the boundaries, whether it's in Kericho, whether it's in Kisumu, it is neither here nor there. The issue is no killing should continue in the country as we watch. Let also those people who are supposed to ensure peace prevail, those who have failed in their duty, let them be brought to book, because somebody somewhere must take the responsibility. That is my take, ladies and gentlemen, and may you have a blessed evening. Bye-bye.